If you didn't already know which side Keir Starmer's riding on, this clip makes it crystal clear. This isn't just political drama, this feels straight up treacherous. It's wild that something like this could actually be happening under this Labour government. Shocking. Not really. They've been selling out the British people day after day, and somehow it just keeps getting worse. And now it's the veterans' turn to be left hanging. The new bill they pushed through is nothing short of outrageous. When Starmer got called out over it during PMQs, he brushed it off like it was nothing. Didn't even properly answer the question. No remorse, no accountability, just that same blank politician face like he's above it all. This moment feels like the breaking point for Britain's military pride. We've been talking for weeks about the tension bubbling under the surface, the SAS and high-ranking generals stepping up publicly, actually writing a letter straight to the Prime Minister. That's huge. This kind of move is almost unheard of in British politics, and it shows just how deep the frustration runs. Now, after what's gone down inside Parliament, veterans have officially turned their backs on him. And honestly, who can blame them? We'll break down exactly what happened here and why it's got so many people furious. But first, make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's roll the clip. This was Keir Starmer during Prime Minister's questions, and just watch how he reacts to being confronted about it.
These questions are about our national interest. These questions are about our national interest. We support our armed forces in every possible way. Later today, my party will vote to protect our veterans from unfair prosecution. He is ordering his MPs to vote against them. In our national interest, and for the sake of all the brave people in the armed forces, past, present and future, will the Prime Minister do the right thing and vote in support of our veterans, not against them?
Mr. Speaker, she's claiming strength. She read the guy's defection letter and then at that point decided to sack him. What was she going to do? Correct the typos and give it back to him? She should have sacked him when he made disgraceful comments about faces in Birmingham, and she failed to do so. And she smiled, saying it's a good thing she's cleared out, a good thing there's fewer Tory MPs. The rest of the country agrees with her completely in relation to that. On the question of veterans protection, under the last government, they passed legislation which was struck down, leaving our veterans utterly exposed. We're putting in place proper measures to protect them.
He's sitting there, cracking jokes like it's all some kind of comedy act. That's your Prime Minister right there, laughing while veterans are furious. That's how much respect he's got for the people who actually served this country. None. It's infuriating to watch. Now, let's break down exactly what's going on with this new bill, because the details are outrageous. As reported by GB News, trouble veterans deliver snap reaction after MPs voted to repeal conditional immunity. In plain terms, they've basically stabbed the veteran community right in the back. British Army veterans went live on GB News, calling out Labour after Parliament voted to remove legal protections for soldiers who served during the Troubles in Northern Ireland. This shocking move means veterans could now face prosecution for actions taken decades ago during the conflict, and it set off a wave of anger across the veteran community and their supporters. This is absolutely diabolical. They've completely lost the respect of the very people who risked their lives for this nation. You've got veterans out in protest, demanding answers, and still, the government stands by it like nothing's wrong. How can they possibly defend this? And here's the kicker. While all this is happening, we're seeing clips of top generals warning that Britain's sons and daughters must prepare for war, possibly against Russia in the near future. Like, seriously. Who would fight for a government that keeps throwing its own soldiers under the bus? It's beyond unfair, especially when so many veterans are already struggling just to survive. You've got men and women who served their country now homeless, sleeping on the streets, while illegal migrants are being placed in five-star hotels. How does that make any sense? It's heartbreaking and infuriating all at once. On January 21st, 2026, the House of Commons voted 373 to 106 to remove a key immunity clause from the 2023 Legacy Act, following a court ruling that claimed it violated human rights. Northern Ireland Secretary Hilary Benn defended the decision, saying the original act failed communities by blocking access to justice and promised new safeguards, like limiting repeated investigations into ageing veterans. But that's just empty talk to many. Conservatives blasted the move, calling it a betrayal, pointing to cases like ex-soldier Dennis Hutchinson, who tragically passed away during his trial. They've warned this change could unleash endless lawsuits against those who served with honour. It's a disgrace, plain and simple, and you can see the outrage spreading everywhere. Let's check out some of the reactions pouring in right now.
Well, I come from the position that everyone should be equal under the law and equally treated by the law. But when you have a situation where terrorists were handed by the previous Blair Labour government get out of jail free cards essentially, and that terrorists will get away with all of their crime, and that the court is now used in a lawfare against former British soldiers, former Royal Ulster Constabulary police officers, to pursue them endlessly through the courts. This is where this whole thing falls down. And I think that the government have behaved to our armed forces in a shameful way. They haven't protected them. And they've basically said to soldiers and the young people who want to go into the army today, in 20 years from now, 30 years from now, you'll be chased by the courts.
Who's driving it, Ian?
Two things are driving it. First of all, the Republic of Ireland have said to the United Kingdom government, you can't have your way in this, you can't protect your police officers and your soldiers. And the government of the United Kingdom has rolled over to that. And of course, lawyers are driving it.
Yeah.
There's about 800 to 1,000 outstanding cases that will now be opened up. You, the taxpayer in the United Kingdom, will end up paying lawyers to pursue former soldiers. And it's a racket, and it should stop. And I think the government has failed to stop it.
What kind of impact is this having on the lives of the men who have still been pursued and now will be pursued with a vengeance?
Well, I grew up with a chap who joined the police service, and he was a hero. He was able to frustrate a terrorist attack in a town in Northern Ireland, and he was able to stop a terrorist from active service. That man has now gone through 4 trials and 4 episodes of inquiry. He's been cleared on every single occasion. What do you think happens now? He's going to face another trial. And so his life, as he goes into his early 60s, he's now going to be pursued through the courts again. And this is happening on an endless position for soldiers and former police officers, and it is wrong.
It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting, the kind of move that leaves people speechless. You can feel the fury building across the country as more voices speak out against this mess. Veterans, supporters, even regular citizens are calling it shameful. Let's dive into more of the reaction, because the outrage is only getting louder.
And now, to answer your question, fundamentally, if it hadn't have been for our brave veterans in Northern Ireland who fought the IRA to a draw, the army would say they won. There would never have been any Good Friday Agreement in the first place. And that's one of the reasons they feel so aggrieved in the way they've been treated. Now, 24 of them came to Westminster yesterday to protest at what Labour are doing to them. And they met with Kemi Badenoch. She raised the issue at Prime Minister's questions that she'd raised it the previous week. And of course, Starmer never answered her points, he never does. But 24 veterans met with her in the shadow cabinet room, and they allowed me to present her with their campaign badge, which I'm wearing. Now, your viewers will have to be very eagle-eyed to read the motto, but the motto says, "Proud of our country, but ashamed of our government." And that sums up how the veterans feel about Labour. It's their slogan. And what I've done is, I've been through the division lists in Hansard this morning, the official record of how people voted. And it's really interesting. So not so much for who voted, but who didn't. So it went through by 387 votes to 106. The Liberals unfortunately voted with Labour last night. But what's really interesting is who didn't vote. The Prime Minister didn't vote. He sent his Labour troops, whipped them through the lobbies to vote to do Sinn Féin a favour, but he didn't vote for it himself. And I think there'll be a lot of annoyance about that. A lot of these soldiers came in the 70s and 80s from what we would now call red wall seats, currently represented by Labour MPs. Now, maybe after Labour's 13 U-turns, they figured they didn't want to vote for this only to have the government U-turn again. I very much hope the government will U-turn on this. So 100 Labour MPs didn't support the Prime Minister. He didn't support them.
I'm fuming, absolutely seething over this. The way he handled it is nothing short of spineless. Instead of standing tall and owning his decision, he sent his MPs out to take the hit, voting down the amendment while he stood there pretending to be squeaky clean. What a move. Now look at what's about to happen. Veterans who once fought for this country are going to be dragged through endless court cases. We're talking about 8,000 to 10,000 individuals who risked everything for Britain, now facing investigations and trials years after serving with honour. It's one of the most shameful political acts we've seen from Keir yet, and that's saying something. And all this is happening while global tensions are heating up, with the government calling for more people to join the military. But seriously, who would want to fight under this kind of leadership? Who would risk their life for a government that treats its own heroes like criminals? It's unbelievable. This entire situation feels rotten from top to bottom. The way Labour's handled this, the lack of backbone, the betrayal. It's infuriating. These are the same people who are supposed to protect those who served, yet they're turning their backs on them for political gain. It's disgusting. Meanwhile, you've got leaders like Donald Trump at the World Economic Forum talking about rebuilding military strength and standing by their service members, showing loyalty and pride. And here, our veterans are being tossed aside and dragged through courtrooms. The contrast couldn't be more brutal. It's heartbreaking seeing those who once defended this country now struggling just to survive. Many are homeless, living on the streets, while newcomers are being placed in luxury accommodations. It's just wrong. These veterans gave everything for their nation, and instead of being supported, they've been forgotten. It's a sad and shameful state of affairs. The next government needs to come in and completely fix this mess, reverse this decision, scrap these ridiculous changes, and finally put veterans first again. They deserve dignity, not endless legal battles. What's happened here is absolutely diabolical. And as for Keir, he should never again be allowed to wear a poppy, not after this. Same goes for the MPs who backed him. Wearing that symbol means standing for respect and remembrance, and after what they've done, it's just an empty gesture. They've proven they don't truly stand by the people who served this nation. If this story has you fired up too, make sure to like, share and comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates and breakdowns of what's really going on behind the scenes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.